Today I want to talk about my spirited child, Ramona. She's off on an adventure with her little sister and her daddy today, and as I waved her off, I noticed she was wearing bright red leggings, bright red top and a bright red raincoat, topped with a cowboy hat. She just looked exactly like the little fiery ball of fireworks that she is. So I want to talk about our wild ones today, and just quickly, very important, cut my fringe. Whoa, it's a bit wonky. But you know what, I was starting to like my hair, and so clearly at that stage what you do is something different to it. Anybody else do that? I did also do it with Juno's little craft scissors. Probably needs a little bit more work. Anyway, spirited kids, do you have one? How do you know if you've got a spirited kid? Oh, you know. They are highly sensitive, bombastic, wild. They love to shout. They love to sing. Why walk when you can run? Why run when you can leap and climb? Sometimes it feels as if it is them against the world. They are rebels. They can be defiant. They can make you feel like a terrible parent. They fight hard, but they love hard too, thankfully. My own daughter Ramona is the kind of kid to whom I'll say, Ramona, is there anything that can make you feel better today? Maybe we could go to the drive-thru and get a fizzy drink. No! And then she'll think about it, and then she'll go, okay, but only if I can get fries and some chicken nuggets too. Back in the olden days, I think these kids probably would have grown up to be pirates. But thankfully, these days, there's a role for spirited people in society. I believe these are the kids that grow up to have a strong voice on matters of injustice. It's hard to cope with when they're 3, but when they're adults, they'll be changing the world. Your 3-year-old's hunger strike tonight over dinner might, when they're 30, end up being a hunger strike to end workplace prejudice against differently abled people. Now, all parenting is hard. I reckon raising children is always going to be exhausting, and it's always going to feel like it takes more of you than you've actually got to give. But having one pretty crazy kid and one spirited child gives me the understanding that parenting spirited children is turbocharged parenting. So if you're doing it, if you're raising a spirited kid, I want to say you're awesome, you're doing awesome. And I also want to encourage you to keep creating the space that your kid needs to grow and bloom into who they are. Your job as a parent isn't to change your kid. You don't own your kid. You can't change them. They are who they are, even if it's kind of challenging. We call them little bombastic, very fantastic. I reckon we live in a society that loves to judge parents for the way their children behaves. What a load of rubbish. On one hand, long term, I reckon that children are influenced by how we treat them. You know, studies show that if we treat children with empathy, their actual brain fires up the neural pathways for empathy way better and more effectively than if they're not treated with empathy. So therefore that impacts whether they're going to be an empathetic person eventually, long term. And I think there's definitely a case where a lot of public meltdowns mean that that child has needs that aren't being met by the parents or isn't feeling validated in their feelings. But we'll never know what's going on. It might also just be that kid's character. They might just be a really fiery kid. So we actually really truly must stop judging parents for the way their children behave. You're doing a great job. There's heaps of cool videos on the way, so I'd love you to support my channel, like, comment, subscribe.